national prosperity. Accordingly, the Nigerian Navy is being positioned to play a cardinal role in the maritime security architecture of our dear nation. Our assembly here this morning shows that Mr. President appreciates the contribution of the Nigerian Navy to economic survival. Thank you, Mr. President.
You are still watching live the commissioning ceremony of 4 newly acquired warships by the Nigerian Navy. It will be recalled that in October 2012, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, during the inauguration of new service chiefs, to actualize this, the presidential mandate, the Nigerian Navy intensified efforts at fleet renewal to ensure adequate presence of Nigerian territorial waters. On its own part, the federal government in its transformation agenda made efforts to re-equip the Nigerian Navy with new platforms, that is the ships. Part of these efforts is the acquisition of these 4 warships that we are commissioning to sanitize our waterways against all forms of criminalities for economic activities to thrive. It will be recalled also that in January 2012, another offshore patrol vessel, NNS Thunder, joined the Nigerian Navy fleet. That is the, right now, he's saying the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Royal Majesty, the Oba of Lagos,
Jennifer, it's over to you.
And other traditional fathers here present, senior government and party officials, and Mr. President's entourage.
Just hand over to my colleague Jennifer to just give a brief of the 4 new ships that are being commissioned here today. Jennifer.
Now, one of the ships is NNS Okpagbana. The Nigerian Navy NNS Okpagbana, formerly called United States Coast Guard Gallatin, was commissioned into the service of the U.S. Coast Guard.
Thank you, Jennifer. We're still on live to the commissioning ceremony of the 4 warships by Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Part of the transformation agenda of this is a recognition of the fact that over 10% of the nation's resources are bordered on the waterways, and the federal government, in its commitment, it's doing all that is possible to equip the armed forces and also to build human capacity for the Navy. Jennifer, tell us about the other ships that are being commissioned today.
The commanding officers of the 4 ships. CNS, sir.
As part of the federal government's transformation agenda towards the achievement of Vision 2020. She was built in China by a shipping corporation. Her hull was formed in September 13th and subsequently launched on 27th January 2014 by the First Lady of Nigeria, Her Excellency Dame Patience Jonathan.
Thank you. We now go straight to the ceremonial address.
Excellency, the Chinese Ambassador to Nigeria, Your Excellency, the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, ably represented by the Deputy Chief of Mission, the National Chairman of PDP, Alhaji Ahmed Adamu Muazu, the Honorable Minister of Defense, other members of the Federal Executive Council here present, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Defense, ably represented by the Director Navy, other members of the Diplomatic Corps here present, former Chiefs of Defense Staff, former Chiefs of Naval Staff here present. They are indeed the icon of the Nigerian Navy. His Royal Majesty, the Oba of Lagos, and other royal fathers here present, senior officials on Mr. President, principal staff officers from the Defense and Services Headquarters, commandants of trans-service institutions, commanders of military formations here present, Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 2, the National President of the Naval Officers Wives Association, and other members of Naval Officers Wives Association present, the Managing Director of NARI, senior officers serving and retired, captains of industry, and corporate friends of the Nigerian Navy, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of officers, ratings, and civilian staff of the Nigerian Navy, it is a great honor and privilege, Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, and all our distinguished guests to this commissioning ceremony. We are particularly delighted that Mr. President was able to find time and busy schedule in our midst, bears testimony to his unflinching support to the Nigerian Navy. Nigeria, as a littoral nation, depends largely on the sea for her revenue earnings. The Nigerian Navy, being the principal agency charged with maritime security, had been faced with the challenge of inadequate and aging platforms in its quest to effectively contain the maritime security challenges of the nation. Inspired by its own transformation plan for the period 2011 to 2020, with fleet recapitalization as a key pillar. It is gladdening that we are gathered today to this historic milestone commissioning ceremony of 4 vessels as proof of the progress being made in our recapitalization effort. Gentlemen, to commit huge funds to recapitalize the Navy in our renewal effort. The only time that we enjoyed this was during President Shehu Shagari, during which 3 ships were commissioned at the same time. Today we are commissioning 4. That means a lot of money must have been invested. And Mr. President indeed has taken ownership of the Nigerian Navy. One of the ships, NNS Okpabana, was acquired from the United States of America under the Excess Defense Article Program, which enables friends and partners of the United States to procure their surplus military hardware. The second vessel, NNS Prosperity, is a former Irish Navy vessel which was acquired for operational efficiency of the Nigerian Navy. It will be recalled that the last training ship in the Nigerian Navy, NNS Ruaru, was decommissioned in 2001, and since then Nigerian Navy never had one until Mr. President decided to take the bull by the horn. NNS Centenary, which is the third ship, is one of the 2 offshore patrol vessels acquired from China. The second boat donated by Chinese government in appreciation of the cordial relationship between China and Nigeria. This ship is now named NNS Shagwama. These platforms will contribute substantially to the capacity of the Nigerian Navy to effectively patrol our waters and indeed fill the gaps that exist in the Gulf of Guinea. And a number of smaller craft, specifically 8 small craft, are expected to join the Nigerian Navy fleet before the end of the year in support of our operations effort in our backwaters. Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, permit me to publicly acknowledge that all these laudable achievements of the federal government, our willing partners, and your able selves. Sir, I therefore seize this opportunity to sincerely thank the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for his unflinching support for the Nigerian Navy in the protection of Nigeria's maritime interests against all forms of threats. I also thank the Honorable Minister of Defense for his persistent comments of United States of America and China to partner with the Nigerian Navy in its task of ensuring a safe and secure maritime environment for national development. To all our stakeholders, too numerous to mention, I say a big thank you for your cooperation and support in diverse ways. Let me assure our special guests of honor and other distinguished guests that environment. Mr. President, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for honoring our invitation and onward together.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate the Chief of the Naval Staff for the reading.
Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Jibrin there,
The commissioning warrants
giving his
with the commanding
welcoming
officers of the 4
speech,
ships.
expressing appreciation
This
to
will be
Mr.
done by
President
the
for his
commissioning
unflinching
authority,
support to the Navy
Chief of the Naval
in his
Staff.
task in safeguarding the territorial waters
The first
of the
commissioning
country,
warrant
and also
read
noted the
and handed
efforts
over
of the
the
Navy
commanding
in
officer of
recapitalizing
Nigerian Navy ship, Okpabana,
its fleets
Captain
and the
Abdul-Majid
support that the
Majid
federal
Ali
government has given so far. In place here
He has a Bachelor of
at
Science
the
degree
Naval
in
Dockyard in
chemistry from the
Victoria
Nigerian Defense
Island.
Academy.
This ceremony is being performed by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Sailed successfully from a base in the United States, paying port calls at Trinidad and Tobago, Dakar, Senegal, and Tema, Ghana, before arriving home on 2nd of January 2015. These are
Commissioning warrant to Nigerian Navy ship Okpabana. The Nigerian Navy Board has commanded that the Nigerian Navy ship Okpabana shall be commissioned under your command, Captain A.M. Ibrahim, for naval service on the 19th February 2015. And you are required to implement these that you may have in the command or any part of her, and in particular anything affecting the health and welfare of the ship's company. This is given under my hand on this day. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Captain Chidozie Donald Okehi. Sir, Captain Okehi is a member of the 42nd Regular Course. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemistry and a Master's degree in Defense Studies from the King's College in London. To his credit, Centenary sailed successfully from China to Nigeria. The competence of Nigerian Navy officers and ratings.
Thank you. Commissioning warrant to Nigerian Navy ship Centenary. The Nigerian Navy Board has commanded that the Nigerian Navy ship Centenary shall be commissioned under your command for naval service on the 19th February 2015. Complaint that you may have in the command or any part of her, and in particular anything affecting the health and welfare of the ship's company. And this is given under my hand on the 19th February 2015 to Captain C.D. Okay.
Aye, sir. Thank you.
Navy Captain Koko Ete Bob Manuel Effiong. Sir, Captain Effiong is also a member of the 42nd Regular Course. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Physics and 2 Master's degrees in Telecommunications and in International Affairs.
Commissioning warrant to Nigerian Navy ship Sagbama. The Nigerian Navy Board has commanded that the Nigerian Navy ship Sagbama shall be commissioned under your command for naval service on the 19th February 2015. And you are required to implement these orders with dispatch, bringing to my notice immediately any cause of fault of the ship's company. This is given under my hand on the 19th February 2015 to Captain B.K. Effiong.
Captain Musin Yahya Abba to come forward to receive the commission warrant of his ship. Sir, Captain Abba is a member of the 43rd Regular Course and has a Bachelor of Science degree in Economics. He also has a Master's degree in Humanitarian and Refugee Studies.
Commissioner, the Nigerian Navy ship Prosperity shall be commissioned under your command for naval service on the 19th February 2015. And you are required to implement these orders with dispatch, bringing to my notice immediately any cause for complaint that you may have in the command or any part of her, and in particular anything affecting the health or welfare of the ship's crew. Your Excellency, before I take my seat, it is important for me to acknowledge the fact that through your initiative, female officers and ratings now serve on board. It is gratifying to note that female officers and ratings served on NNS Centenary and to Nigeria, a good feat and a noble initiative of Mr. President, and this should be highly acknowledged. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Our special guest of honor, sir, Mr.
Yeah, that was the
President,
official
Commander-in-Chief of the Armed
reading and
Forces
handing
of the
over
Federal
of
Republic of Nigeria.
the ships
Distinguished
to
guests,
the
senior officers,
captains that
serving
are
and
going to.
retired.
We move on now to the
May I
next
explain that the
item,
ceremony
which
will
is the
start with
commissioning
joy
of ships and
unveiling
unveiling of
the
ships.
crests of NNS Okpabana and NNS Prosperity. These will be followed by the cutting of their commissioning tape. Mr. President will then proceed to NNS Centenary and NNS Sagbama to also unveil the crests of the two ships and cut their commissioning tape. These will be followed by national anthem, move on board NNS Centenary for the tour of the ship. The following individuals are required and requested to join Mr. President. They are Alhaji Adamu Mwazu, Senator Chris Anyau, Honorable Minister of Defense, Honorable Minister of Tourism, Service Chiefs and the CDS, the Oba of Lagos, the Chinese Ambassador, Rep of US Ambassador, the National President of NOAA, and her executive. May I now most respectfully request
You're still watching live the official commissioning of the 4 warships by the President, taking place here at the Naval Dockyard in Victoria Island in Lagos. Right now, the President is leading his entourage to the formal commissioning of the ships.
of the Naval staff to please kindly join the commissioning party. Thank you.
The Nigerian Navy is among the largest navies that we have on the African continent, consisting of several personnel, including those of the Coast Guards. Before now, the last time these warships, this number, were commissioned was during the Second Republic of the former President Alhaji Shehu Shagari. This agenda to re-equip the Nigerian Armed Forces. It should be recalled that the event can be linked to what happened in October 2012 when the President charged the service chiefs, and gave them the mandate to fight criminalities on Nigerian territorial waters. And today what we are seeing is the efforts of the we're seeing now some of the ships that are going to be commissioned today. I still have with me my colleague here. He's going to give us a brief on one of the ships, that is the NNS
of the naval ships is a landmark achievement for the Nigerian Navy and the federal government. It is unique because it is a first. Now the third ship, we've given you information about 2 of the ships. Now the third ship, the NNS Sagbama, Nigerian Navy ship Sagbama, is a river town patrol vessel donated by the Chinese government in connection with growing business and military cooperation between the Republic of China and Nigeria. The ship is 48 meters in length and was built and equipped at the Chinese Naval dockyard. The ship has a complement of 23.
So far, the Nigerian Navy now has over 30 capital ships and a number of patrol boats for effective policing of our waterways. And this is in recognition of the fact that over 80% of the nation's resources are on the waters. Western Waters Victoria ceremony is being performed by the President Commander Armed Forces, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Protection of our citizens and its commitment to the honor and glory of God. All rise as we sing national anthem.
The Nigerian Navy owes its origin to the Nigerian Marine, and it was formed in 1914 after the amalgamation of the then Northern and Southern Protectorates of Nigeria. Nigeria came under a single colonial administration. The operations of the Marine then included administration of the ports and inland waterways. The organization remained only maritime until 1955, when a major reorganization was carried out in order to improve the efficiency of the Marine then. Then 3 new bodies were established from it: the Nigerian Port Authority, the Inland Waterways, and then the Nigerian Naval Force. You are still watching live the unveiling of the ships by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Dr.
Commissioning of NS Sagbama by the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR.
Mr. President has just commissioned NNS Centenary and NNS Sagbama.
Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, Senior Military Officers, His Royal Majesty the Oba of Lagos, and other traditional rulers. For me today, as the Commander-in-Chief, to formally commission these platforms for the use of the Nigerian Navy to defend our nation and protect our territorial waters. And we are doing
May we please rise for the national anthem, please, to mark the commission of NNS Centenary and NNS Sabama. Presently, Mr. President has proceeded on board NNS Centenary for a guided tour of the ship.
Jonathan. Right now the president is on the tour of the one of the ships, NNS Centenary. My colleague is here, will tell you a brief about these NNS Centenary. Jennifer,
to man their ships. You can rest assured, but maritime security.
NNS Centenary is an offshore patrol vessel with a length of 95.5 meters breadth.
These ships will make the critical difference.
She is designed.
Thank you.
NNS Centenary is an offshore patrol vessel with a length of 95.5 meters of 20 knots. Her full load displacement is about 1,800 tons. NNS Centenary's main mission will include maritime surveillance, exclusive economic zone patrol and response task, and protection of offshore resources and infrastructure. Others include search and rescue, demonstration of national presence when called upon to do so in period of civil unrest and natural disaster, among others.
coming back. They are coming back. Yes.
Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? What's your name? Hello, how are you? My friend was saying, oh yes. He was in my house. But exactly. Yes, sir. My brother. Greetings, how are you? Good.
Watching live the commissioning of the 4 naval warships, NNS Okpabana. This is a recognition of the fact that 80% of the nation's resources are on the waters. With this commissioning, the Navy now has over 30 capital ships plus a number of patrol
You're still watching the commissioning ceremony of 4 new ships by the Nigerian Navy, and the President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, is doing this today at ships, and the 4th one is known as NNS Prosperity. Nigerian Navy ship Prosperity was acquired through local sourcing in partnership with Uniglobe Industrial Services Limited in 2014. By its design, NNS Prosperity has an overall complement of 46, comprising 12 officers and 13 ratings. It has 33 cabins and sits with maximum breadth of 10.530 meters at midship. The ship has a maximum speed of 17.5 knots, an economic speed of 12 knots. Her maximum fuel capacity is 178 liters of diesel and endurance at 12 knots. This translates to about 21 days at sea without fuel replenishment. This is a Navy as a training ship for junior officers and ratings.
Mr. President has just concluded a guided tour of NNS Centenary, and at this moment we are having good photographs to commemorate this presidential visit.
Is inspecting one of the helicopters. And he just left the NNS Centenary ship. And he's still doing a tour of the facilities and addressing some of the officers and ratings. You're still watching live the commissioning ceremony of Nigerian Navy ship Okpabana, Centenary, Sagbana and Prosperity. Now the new warship NNS Centenary, christened NNS Centenary, was done so in commemoration of Nigeria's 100 years of amalgamation of the North since 1980 after NNS Aradu was launched. The vessel, which was constructed by Chinese Shipbuilding and Offshore International Limited, bettered at the Naval Dockyard, Victoria Island some time ago. The recapitalization of the naval assets would empower it to properly police the country's waterway businesses thrive.
Watching live the official commission of the warships of the Nigerian Navy. Here we see the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Alongside his entourage, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Minister of Defense, the PDP party chieftains, the Oba of Lagos and other traditional rulers. They are on board the ship right now and having the facility tour of the ship, one of the ships. They just finished the facility tour and they are going back to their seat. This back to 1914. Nigerian Navy owes its origin to the Nigerian Marine. The Nigerian Marine was formed in 1914 after the amalgamation.
May we please rise? Mr. President, please rise.
Under a single colonial. The operations of the Marine then included administration of the ports and harbors and trainings and other small craft that plied various creeks and waterways. The organization remained only maritime outfit until 1955 when a major reorganization was carried out in order to improve the efficiency of the Marine then. New bodies were established where the Nigerian Port
we now thank Mr.
the
President
Inland Waterways and the Nigerian Naval Force.
We shall now be privileged
of June
to listen to words of presentation.
Mr.
President
into
will
a
now
full
share his thoughts with us.
The title was changed to Nigerian Navy in 1963 after Nigeria became a republic. That's just giving you a brief of the history of the Nigerian Navy. Now on the podium now is the President and Commander.
The National Chairman of our great party, the PDP, Alazi Adamu Mwazo, thank you for your leadership. The Chairman, Senate Committee on the Navy, and other members of the National Assembly here with us, the Honorable Minister of Defense and the Minister of Information, other members of the Federal Executive Council, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Naval, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Defense, the Chinese Ambassador to Nigeria, and other members of the Diplomatic Corps, former Chief of Defense Staff, Admiral Allah Ibrahim, thank you for being with us here, and Dele Joba, we appreciate. Former service chiefs here with us, the chairperson of the National, really the wife of a 3-star general in the Navy, His Royal Majesty the Oba of Lagos and other royal fathers here with us, top government functionaries,
senior military officers serving and retired, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am quite happy to be here because for this period I've watched the growth of the Nigerian Navy, occupied by the Nigerian Navy. And of course, even in the operations, I've watched and I've seen significant improvement. One area that is coming out clearly is that the volume of crude oil being stolen is reducing, even though willful vandalism of pipelines, especially gas pipelines that are meant for power generation, that nobody steals gas, is increasing. That's why I'm so delighted to be here today to commission 4 new platforms that were recently added to the Nigerian Navy fleet. These ships, the NNS Okpabana, a high-endurance cutter acquired from the United States of America with their assistance, as explained by the Chief of Naval Staff, the NNS Prosperity, a centenary, one of the 2 offshore patrol vessels we are procuring from China, and the NNS Sagbama, which was donated by the Chinese government to Nigeria. In fact, the president promised when I visited, and they have fulfilled that pledge. We commend the Chinese government. I thank all the friends of Nigeria and the Nigerian Navy for making this occasion a reality. In line with my administration's transformation agenda and food security, as well as employment generation, the high dependence of the nation's economy on offshore resources, as well as the enormous potentials of the maritime sector to contribute to our food security and employment generation, makes provision of effective maritime security very imperative. Therefore, the Nigerian Navy, as a lead maritime security agency, deserves all the support it needs to effectively carry out its statutory. Administration has continued to support the fleet recapitalization objective of the Nigerian Navy Transformation Plan 2010 to 2020, which was formulated to support the realization of the goals of the federal government transformation agenda, especially in the security sector. The 4 ships being commissioned today are part of a total of 6 ships expected to be commissioned into the Nigerian Navy fleet by 2015. I'm confident that this event represents a maritime security. It is remarkable to know that the Nigerian Navy ship Okpabana is the 6th ship the Nigerian Navy has acquired from the United States of America since 2002. On the other hand, Nigerian Navy ship Centenary is the first of the 2 initial acquisitions from China. I'm aware that the 2nd vessel is still under construction in China and will be delivered before the end of this year. Permit me to use this occasion to active countries. This commissioning ceremony gives me opportunity to once again reaffirm my confidence in the competence and commitment of the officers, ratings, and civilian staff of the Nigerian Navy. I am glad to particularly note the achievements of the Navy in the fight against oil theft and other maritime crimes. I wish to reassure the Navy that this administration will not waver in its support to the ongoing capacity building efforts, active use of these assets to deliver the most desired maritime security. I'm quite pleased today, of course, listening to the Chief of Naval Staff, who mentioned that this is the first time the federal government is commissioning 4 naval platforms at the same time. The one next to this happened during Alhaji Shagari's time as a civilian head of state, that he commissioned 3 to improve the capacity of our armed forces, not just the Navy. Today we are here for a naval ceremony, but also the Army and the Air Force will build sufficient capacity. And let me also use this platform to promise my good countrymen and women that we will rout Boko Haram. Our capacity has increased sufficiently, and our men, because within this period, we are convinced that we'll return the North to a level where the activities of extremists will not affect our elections. They are working hard day and night, and I directed that Nigerians should be briefed regularly. Improve the capacity, the technical capacity of our men, both the Air Force and the Army. And we are for what they are doing. And in particular in this occasion, I commend the Chief of Naval Staff and the senior naval officers, and also our ratings and others who have made today's event possible. I'm indeed pleased that ladies are now participating in major offshore operations of the Navy. I always believe that there are certain capacities that women have that must be used. Chief of Naval Staff just mentioned to me that even in some developed countries, there are some naval platforms that are commanded by women. So why can't a Nigerian woman command one platform one day? I know they have the capacity to do it, and one day they will do it. I commend the Nigerian women. Commend the wife of the Chief of Naval Staff for her leadership. Encourage the Air Force, encourage the police and other security services to protect us and make sure that we live as a united and a peaceful nation. Once again, I thank you.
Remove hindrances! Remove hindrances! Three chairs to Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, Dr. Goodluck. All cameramen are please requested to leave the front of this meeting base immediately. Louder! National salute! Is it? All are to rise, please, for the national anthem. May I have the permission to carry on with the rest of the parade, sir? Aye, sir. 3 attitudes given and the national anthem played. Mr. President will now be departing for his next engagement. As Mr. President departs, I have the honor on behalf of Chief of the Navy.
Yeah, we are gradually come to the end of this commissioning ceremony of 4 warships.
Thank you.
NNS Okwabana, NNS Centenary, NNS Agbama, and NNS Prosperity by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of with this commissioning today. It will intensify efforts to sanitize our waterways against all forms of criminalities for economic activities to thrive. Thanks for being there. We now hand over to Jennifer.
Of the ships to the NNF's fleet will certainly bluster the Navy's zeal to maintain. The President is about leaving the venue now.
Yeah, and the President at this ceremony has also re-emphasized that the election this year will be conducted under a very peaceful atmosphere with the recapitalization and the equipping of the Nigerian Armed Forces, that there is no doubt that peace will be restored, will be conducive for all. Thanks for watching the live transmission of this broadcast, the commissioning of the 4 warships from all the crew here in Lagos is bye for now. Thank you.
For the remaining part of the ceremony, it is requested that all our guests please remain seated. We are now proceeding for the remaining part of today's ceremony. May I request that we please take our seats.
These It's good to have you join us on the program from the National Assembly. My name is Ifeanyi Okafor and we are reaching you live from the House of Representatives. Anytime from now, the Speaker will be commencing the plenary for today. You will recall that just yesterday, the House had constituted a 15-member committee to liaise with the Finance Minister and the Budget Office for the appropriate oil price benchmark and the medium-term expenditure framework. We expect that they will have some fruitful debate on those motions to be